Thank you so much. I am Ademir Calegari. I am a soil research. I am agronomist. I did my master in Aberdeen, Scotland. I did a PhD in Brazil, in Londrina, University of Londrina, Paraná State in the South Brazil. When we started there, our guru, Mr. Herbert Bart, is the pioneer on no-till. It was in 72. Now it's 52 years that started no-till. I did also PhD in Londrina in Brazil, and after we went 1 year in Kansas State University, 1 year in Université de Paris. So I've been working for these 47 years. My guru of cover crops was Mr. Dr. Rolf Derbsch from Germany. He won the most famous in the world, and he worked a lot of different species. I worked with more than 147 different species varieties of cover crops to improve biodiversity. Working with this regenerative agriculture is the no-till with quality, crop rotation, all of this in different places, different countries, 52 countries until now, and learning in a small scale farmer, in medium scale farmer, large scale farmer. So it works, and you are here.
Very nice, very welcome here in Switzerland.
Thank you so much.
You're here since yesterday.
Yes.
You went to the symposium in Zurich, the Soil to Soil symposium.
Yeah.
How did you like it?
Oh yes, was incredible. Yes, wonderful. Joel Salatin is a very famous from USA. He showed that it is possible to make the soil like a miracle. So integrate all of this, the soil life, to become the living soil. So it was wonderful, many results for many decades, and it was good discussion. It was a wonderful seminar in Zurich.
Okay, so conservation agriculture in South America is very strong, it's very common and known. Why is it so known, and why is it so much practiced in South America?
Yeah, in South America in 1972, Herbert Bart is a Brazilian, but the family, German family, he was plowing the soil like the great majority, all totality of farmers. And we have in the tropical condition very strong rainfall. And he lost this for many years. And he was so desperate. And when the field saw the erosion, the runoff, the seeds, the soil goes down on the steep slope. And he started to cry and said, "You need to move. We need to change, you need to shift for another system." And he came and visited USA and saw and imported the first no-till machine with the help with Dr. Rolf Derbsch, that were to start with him to make this works. And the Fazenda Renania in Rolândia, Paraná, start with the no-till. So the no-till is a revolution in Brazil. The no-till was because the farmers with the conventional, they could go far away, so they could go forward. They needed to change to survive, and you started this. But at the beginning, the no-till was like a monocrop, like 1 or 2 species of cover crops, like a lupin or a black oat, white lupin, not more. But during the years, you are advancing. Now we are using 6, 8, 10 different mix. We call this, we brought also 2001 to France, the mélange of plant de couverture, and this plants mixed, it was a miracle. So Brazil now is the largest area all over the world, almost 40 million hectares with the no-till, and this is growing well, different crops. It's really, we are increasing the yields, we are decreasing the costs, and properly with the soil, protect the soil, increase soil organic matter, and mainly soil life, living soil, biodiversity, equilibrium, all 3 attributes, biological, physical, and chemical. So this is growing too much in South America, different countries, mainly in Brazil.
So you made a lot of research in the cover crops and in direct till,
yep,
or no-till. So what are your 3 main findings in that area?
It was really fantastic. At the beginning, at that time, we didn't have available herbicide for that. We didn't have available different cover crop seeds. But the main 3 points is to remain the soil covering. At the beginning we saw that it was just in tropical, subtropical regions that is important to soil covering. We're seeing now in different climate regions, like here in Europe, in Asia, and other parts of the world, the importance of the great part of the year, the soil covering. So the soil covering, the biodiversity used with the crop rotation is another point. And to touch the soil as less as possible. Because many times, many farmers in Europe and many other countries, they start to using different species, rotate with different cash crops, like a soybean, like maize, like wheat and others. But every 2-3 years, they plow the soil. Or they use disc harrowings. So you're back again, you decrease a lot of soil organic matter. So remain the soil covering, make biodiversity using rotation, different species, start as minimum as possible the soil. Is one of the main reasons to improve, to achieve the equilibrium of the soil and the Mother Nature bring more crop yield and less inputs, also means less production costs.
Very good. So where do you see a need for development in conservation agriculture, and maybe which aspects need to be researched more?
Yes, I think that the many European countries, like here in Switzerland and others, we saw in Italy, I've been many times in France, in Italy, and in Ukraine, and Russia, and Bulgaria, and Hungary, and different countries. So there is like a tradition, maybe some subsidize, the people is not so uncomfortable when you plow the soil. So they need, for me, more research showing that when you don't touch the soil, you make the roots, the plants, not metal, not iron, make the job. Because you need to increase the volume of the soil. And this is much to use different roots, the root system, more compounds of the carbon of the roots, and also the soil covering, you increase this. This is a very important point to be considered. I think then also, when you put more different species, you have different root dates, you have different enzyme, you have different food for different microorganisms. You improve biodiversity. This enzyme promote more the soil organic sequestration. You increase the soil organic matter. Many times we visit many farmers, many regions, these are 1.5 to 2.5% of the soil organic matter, soil organic carbon during many years. So because they plow, they go forward and back when it plow the soil. So you need to put some more cover crops. You can use also, for example, with maize. We have many cover crops that you can put together with the maize. You harvest the maize, the forage or the plant is control the weeds, more moisture, protecting the soil. Always remain soil covering. It's better, it's very important.
Where do we need more research also? So research in general?
Yes, yeah. Okay. You need to look for more research to be the integration of these different species of cover crop, rooted dates. For example, the mycorrhiza studies all over the world, 5-6 years, is the most studied microorganism in the world because the results are fantastic. If you plow the soil, you lose the great majority of these fungi, very important mycorrhiza. So another microorganism as well, less inputs, more different species of plants, and integrate also with the use of different biological products. You can add some bacillus. So do you need exactly a good diagnosis? Very soil diagnosis, perfect to see how is the physical aspect. There is compaction. Is a strong compaction. How you can achieve this with the cover crops, the very strong roots, taproot. There is some problem with the low soil organic matter. How you can increase the organic matter? Some soil mulch, plants to cover the soil, and also different species to promote more, increase the soil organic carbon to sequestration, the soil organic carbon into the soil. And this interaction with some nutrients that you need to add, or organic, sometimes use your nutrient. So physical, chemical, biological must be equilibrated. This equilibrium is very important. Also the nutrients, there are some equilibrium among some nutrients. The equilibrium is the key point with the plants, with the biological actives. If you check if there are some nematodes, some root disease, you can achieve with trichoderma, with some bacillus, some pseudomonas, so bacteria, actinobacteria, many other microorganisms in order to achieve the equilibrium. Soil equilibrium is the point that you need to understand the whole system together. You increase not only micro, meso and macroorganisms, earthworm and others.
So have you in your career, have you worked in Central Europe before? Have you been here?
Yes, I've been many times in Russia, I've been many times in Ukraine, I've been many times in France. I did my master in Aberdeen, Scotland. I brought the mixed cover crops, the mélange of plant culture in France in 2003. I did almost 1 year in France. So I've been connected with Germany and many, Switzerland and Austria and other countries, in Portugal, also in Spain, in attending and discussing with the different soil, different cover crops that can grow with very low amount of water, very low rainfall. So we needed this exactly to find the different pieces of your land to see what is the main constraint, what are the main challenges. We need something that to decrease nematodes, we need something to decrease roots, root disease, we needed to put some biologicals together. So you need to find this to see what is the next step. And you put properly different crops rotated, promote biodiversity, re-equilibrium, and consequently increase the yields with less cost and in orderly in the helping the Mother Nature.
So it's basically the same aspects that you have in South America than you have like you have in Central Europe, is it? Or are there any differences, or what is different here? What do you have to watch out here?
Yeah, we have some different species, different climate conditions, but many aspects are common. So the principle are the same: to remain soil covering, to touch as minimum as possible, and to promote biodiversity, the rotation of the species, not only the plants, with the microorganisms. We need to put different roots, different species, different varieties that promote this biodiversity. You are feeding different microorganisms and the result will be wonderful. You simulate like a forest, you mimic the forest, yeah.
So how strong or how active is the regenerative movement in South America?
The regenerative movement, not only in South America, all over the world. So the biological products and the mixed cover crops, when you put 6, 8, 10 or 12 different species together, varieties with different roots, different compounds, and the use of biologicals is increasing, is the regenerative agriculture. So minimum inputs, external inputs, as less as possible siders, and also look for the equilibrium. And this equilibrium depends of your area, how is the grade of the degradation that you are. You can put some more pasture, some perennial together with some annual. You can put, if it's possible, animal on the system, because the urine, because the touch of animal of the soil, because the saliva of the animal, because the straw, and also the hairs of animal is increasing microorganisms. This is wonderful. So when you put some more animals, you can do this in the plants, integrate all of this, you achieve more results. So this is the secret, and regenerative agriculture is growing very fast in different South America, in Europe, all over the world, this movement. More species, more biodiversity, more biological. So we need immediately follow the Mother Nature. Is our great to go.
Do you see any differences between conservation agriculture and regenerative agriculture, or are there mainly synergies?
Yeah, okay. So conservation agriculture for me is to stop erosion and to do something that you can improve the water infiltration, improve soil organic carbon. Regenerative is more large figure.
Holistic.
Yes, a holistic approach. You take, because you must use composting if you have available. You can put some mulch, you can put some animals, you can add different things in order to decrease the external inputs, in order to advancing quickly. So you bioactivate the whole system, the vision of the whole system, what I can do here. I have composting, I have different species, the soil is the small problem with compaction. So you put so many different components, different tools together, this holistic approach to achieve a good shape that you, in order to produce more, to spend less costs, to have more profitable and a sustainable way, exactly together with the Mother Nature.
Is there anything that we in Central Europe can learn from the South American way of agriculture?
Of course, it's growing quickly, this overgrazing, the animal integration is quickly, and also the mixed cover crops, not so common in many European countries. And Brazil now estimated to 3 or 4.5 million. We have around 22 million hectares with the cover crops. And many other countries is growing very fast because we are seeing one of the main or the only one way to increase your yields with less costs and use these mixed cover crops. Put the animal, integrate, like in French, many people are doing with lamb as well, with cattle. So integrate more components in the same system. Quickly you advance, you save, you capture more soil organic carbon, and soil organic will bring water, you store your water, more nutrients, protect the nutrients, protect the erosion, and produce more in a sustainable way. This is the way that you must, the research, the extension people, to convince the farmers that it's the best way. It's more practical, it's less cost, and also you are produced for long term, your farm like copying or mimicking the Mother Nature. You go in a sustainable way for family, quality with the family, quality of your soil life. So living soil, you go in this way, forward sustainability.
So what do you advise to farmers who want to reduce their herbicides?
The herbicide is a consequence. We have many farms that I work for 6, 8, 10, 12 years, a lot of results. I'm working on it more than 47 years. So when you promote more soil covering, more different species, you are decreasing, you don't touch the soil. Because if you use a lot of cover crops, a lot of soil covering, but you touch the soil, the seeds of the weeds come again. So you go back. So when you put this, the mulch effects, the allelopathic effects, the shadow effects, you are decreasing. We have farmers that in 4, 5, 6 years decreases 40, 50, 60, 70% the use of herbicide. Some of them are 3, 4 years without use of herbicide. So as less as possible, external inputs is better. So, but then you need to build according to different plots, different areas, different challenges.
Is there anything you want to add? Anything?
Ask, please, you can do more. It's good, but you can go better. Like I said, some friends said, if you're not using biological, you use some. Somebody that uses some biological, you increase more. If I use some cover crops, you use more, not 2 or 3 species, 4, 5, 6 species. You have a species that you can put together with the maize. You harvest the maize, you have this. You can use together with some flour. We are working strongly with sorghum. Different species can put together with wheat, faba bean and others. Canola, different species together. You harvest your cash crops and your soil cover all the time. Decreasing the weed, promote the biodiversity, more microorganisms, more soil life, living soil toward sustainability. This is a real regenerative agriculture. And this, I wish this for all farmers here from Switzerland and for all Europe, for all over the world.